Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on January 31st, 2023. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet. Welcome to the Daily Do, giving you your space weather update, earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Checking out here the last 48 hours on our sun, as we have a pretty quiet Earth-facing sun right now. Only two major sunspots to talk about, and no major CMEs thwarted our way. But we do have some interesting plasma filaments, and as well a couple C-class solar flares to talk about Earth-facing. You can see them there in the incoming images. As well, pretty big sunspot in the southern hemisphere, cresting now and turning into view. Looking at the last 48 hours outgoing. Still have plasma filaments across the northern hemisphere, but I'm sure some of that left with a backside CME. Something happened on the backside of our sun. Closer look here at the cresting sunspot region, which could be a fiery one as it grows here the next few days. Large plasma filament ahead of it, and watch for that one shot coming out of a pretty calm area. Multi-spectrum here, able to see the last 48 hours of events, including CMEs and flares. Only a couple minor C-class flares coming from that cresting sunspot region. Another look here, 193 angstroms. Coronal holes still diminishing, but hanging around in the southern hemisphere, right around the pole. Amazing images brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory. I've had to do some major editing here the last few days as the sun has been eclipsed and the SDO satellite. Looking at the solar X-ray flux, there are our C-class solar flares. So we've seen about 5 since last night's update. Geomagnetic activity hopped up today to a 3.5 kp index. Real-time solar wind, we're sitting at 456 kilometers per second after being jacked up to about 526 earlier on the day. But notable there, the density bunches, they were high and then dropped right off. Having a look here at LASCO 3, still showing that comet diving around the sun. Does not look like it's going to crash into it. Having a look at ISWA Space Prediction Spiral, there is yesterday's CME backside towards the Bepi satellite, and then today, yet another one. Watch for that solar wind stream to get amplified ahead of that and swing around for us. We do have a little bit of space weather coming in here, 5th into the 6th. Nothing major. Schumann resonance for today is a low power of 4 after being up to about 25 earlier the last few days. A power of 4 today, but very sporadic telemetry there. Amplitude of 4, quality of 7.7. Having a look at earthquakes the past 24 hours. Average amount of earthquakes, we're sitting at about 200 according to USGS. Largest being the 5.3 in Malta. That was yesterday. 4.6 there as well, but pretty quiet throughout. 4.7 Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Activity continuing through the Caribbean. South America seeing a couple earthquakes today, 4.6, 4.7 Arica, Chile. 4.1 there, El Salvador. And then across the North American plate, seeing increased minor seismicity up through California state. Most of the activity has been here in Pahala, Hawaii, largest being a 3.3 reported today. Alaska seeing a lot of minor activity as well. Philippines saw a 5.0 earthquake today. Arasasan, Philippines, 10-kilometer depth. And then we did have a couple very deep earthquakes today. Fiji Islands, 15-kilometer depth, 5.0 as well. A 5.0 magnitude for 44-kilometer depth. 4.8 earthquake here, Indian to Antarctic Ridge. 4.6. In Wangjing, India, 63-kilometer depth. And that's the last 24 hours for earthquakes across the world. Give you a quick glance at the last 7 days for shakers across the planet. Take a quick moment to say thank you for tuning in today, inviting me into your living rooms, or taking up your time today, keeping humanity aware and prepared. Thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected worldwide by natural disasters, extreme weather events, earthquakes, and volcanoes. It's the last 7 days for earthquakes, expecting something big here the next 48 hours. North American plate seems to be on my target right now. Having a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent satellite imagery and as well most recent volcanoes. Looking at Sheveluch in Russia, as well Popocatépetl in Mexico. Many explosions there the last few days. That has been the most active volcano on the planet. Popo in Mexico. And look at all these flood alerts across the world. Just about 200 active hazards. I wanted to show you here. Look at satellite imagery of the storm heading towards Iceland. Winter storm, southeast Iceland. This was forecasted here with daily events worldwide, but that thing looks like a hurricane as it's getting ready to make landfall, and then did make landfall. Now it's heading towards Finland, Norway. So watch for an extreme weather event. Norway. Got extreme cold temperatures across Canada. East Bend, Quebec, Nunavut, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and of course Manitoba, Thunder Bay, Ontario. And then we get to the United States as they've had quite a extreme weather event, massive ice storm, and this thing is about 1,200 kilometers long, stretching across 3 states. Having a look at the radar imagery here, all of that pink, that is ice. They're expecting up to 20 to 30 millimeters of ice over the next 24 hours as this thing slowly treks eastward towards Virginia, dumping some snow through Louisville, Kentucky, and then towards West Virginia and Washington. So heads up, thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected there. Massive ice storm affecting you now. Carrying on here with the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the satellite imagery around the world. High pressure ridge building in, and a cold one at that across Canada. Pretty big system affecting Hawaiian Islands the last few days. And as well, a strong system heading out of Japan towards Kamchatka. Got that tropical cyclone developing for Sri Lanka. Looks like it's getting blown out by a high-pressure ridge. And then we've got lots of cloudy skies across Turkey as well. Having a look here, windy.com showing the wind forecast for the next few days as a very turbulent Atlantic right now. As I have been forecasting here, we've got a large low developing over the Hudson Bay. And that is underneath that big, cold, high-pressure ridge. Polar vortex dipping way far south this week. Going to be expecting minus double digits here in Ontario and through the United States. But look at this. The wind patterns through the North Atlantic. Iceland getting pounded by storm after storm. Still in the forecast here. Speaking of forecast, let's look at a quick weather forecast around the world. You could see that extreme weather event continue the next few days through the Gulf states. Lingering flurries will hang out this week through Ontario. And then pretty dry until late in the week when we have a big winter storm and as well a big low pressure system off the west coast. Winter storm affecting Quebec. Watch for some pretty abnormally warm temperatures ahead of that with some extreme weather. overlooking Africa and Europe. Pretty snowy and gray days ahead of you as well. Could see a pretty nasty winter storm developing here through Turkey and as well through Italy. Some pretty strong storm conditions moving in. Overlooking Southeast Asia, the West Pacific, low pressure system spinning through northern territory of Australia, and big lows moving through the North Pacific, heading towards Alaska yet again. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Much love, stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your daily dew. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.